Hey everyone, welcome back. I thought today we could talk Adulting 101, and this is going to consist of my very professional definition of adulting, which I'm going to define as the moment basically surrounding like independence. So you're earning a full-time income, or you're working full-time or working multiple jobs, just providing for yourself, and maybe you're also living independent from your parents. I'm just going to define adulting like that for the purposes of this video. So we could get started. So anyways, Adulting 101. I kind of want to share a few like tips and tricks or the habits that I'm trying to employ to kind of figure out this whole adulting thing. I'm not saying that I'm doing it perfectly, but I feel like these are the things. I'll mention some of the things that are working for me and maybe some of the things that I would like to start employing because I think that they're good ideas and maybe they could work for me. And I'll split it up into a couple of like different adulting topics or things that adulting can tend to cover. So for the first one, I'm going to talk about sustenance and staying alive, aka feeding myself, which I feel that this technically started for me in college, and also I guess any parts of this can happen to anybody at different stages in their life. Like I know that in some countries like there's a different age for a bunch of things that could be legal. So I don't know. I feel like when I turned 18, I didn't really feel like an adult as much as when I graduated college, and that was like regardless of whatever age I was at. So that's why I'm gonna start like my adulting things from there, because that's when I feel like I actually was like, whoa, I have to live life by myself, which is crazy. So I feel that diet was one of the first things that I tackled because I knew that it was important to me, and also it can be expensive. So I kind of wanted to do it economically and also in a healthy way for me. So I'll share how I did that. So my boyfriend and I, we focused on meal prepping. So for the first 6 months of basically the first 6 months that we were in California, or I guess let's be more conservative, because our friend stayed with us in our apartment for a remainder of his internship. And I'm not gonna lie, while he was there, we were all big bags together, just enjoying like being in LA and trying new food, which I do not regret, and it was a great time. But once he left, it was time for us to lock in and have a little bit more routine. So then I guess it's been like 4 months or 6 months if you count like until now. But for like 4 months straight, we basically ate the same thing for lunch every single day, and practically for dinner too. So I found that was the easiest way to kind of control diet in a positive way for me, because otherwise, if we didn't have any food in the house or any food that was ready to go and ready to be eaten, then it's just too easy to make the decision to eat out. Yeah, so we just focused on something really simple and easy to start with. So for lunch, we would take to work protein pasta with ground beef with some marinara sauce and a side of vegetables. So that's literally what I had for lunch for 4 months. And it was great. Like, it tasted awesome, and I literally never had to think about what we were gonna eat. I never had to think about what we were gonna cook. It was just like the same thing. And then we split it up. Like, one of us would be in charge of dinner and the other one would be in charge of lunch. Or if dinner was kind of, for dinner during that 4 month period, it was, okay, for dinner, it was, for a while there, the tortilla crusted tilapia from Costco with rice, spicy mayo, and vegetables. So we kind of made like a at-home bowl, you know? So that was what we had for dinner a lot of times. And for that, we just had to pop the tilapia in the air fryer and then the rice in the rice cooker. So that was just kind of like free-for-all. Whoever wasn't showering would make the dinner, and we just kind of flip-flop like that. So one person would be in charge of making the lunches, and then I talked about lunch, I talked about dinner. For breakfast, for those 4 months, I was in charge of breakfast. I made overnight oats. Oh my gosh, I still eat overnight oats. My boyfriend is over it, but I like them. And I have always really enjoyed breakfast though, and I don't like, I wake up really hungry, and I don't like waiting out that hunger until like lunch. Like, no thank you, I need food immediately. Well, not immediately, because I have to like drive to work. So even then, that's pushing it, because I wait like an hour after I wake up to eat, which is unusual for me. Anyway, yeah, so overnight oats. So it's super simple. I'll drop the recipe on the screen, and I can maybe do like a video for that. But that one has really great macros, and it kept me full really long. And I can meal prep them on the weekend, and then they'll be ready to go throughout the week. So I think this just like simplifying it and making it so that I don't have to constantly be cooking, because I think the reason that cooking is so daunting to me or overwhelming is because I see cooking as this big task of, like, I don't see cooking as just like the act of cooking. I see it as, okay, I have to figure out what meal we're going to be making. I have to go to the grocery store and get all the ingredients. I have to actually cook the food and make it. And when I first moved out here, like, I had never really cooked like that, especially not dinners. Like, I'm a breakfast girly. I know how to cook eggs and that was like my specialty. I love dessert and breakfast. So I had never cooked before, so I had low confidence in myself for that. So that brought on its own set of anxiety. And then I had to clean, aka wash all the dishes. And I also don't like washing dishes. So it was just a bunch of things that perfectly added up to what I did not want to do. So meal prepping kind of took away a lot of these stress factors for me and allowed me to get healthy meals in without feeling all this anxiety and being overwhelmed by a bunch of factors. So if you get overwhelmed by having to plan a different meal every week, or not knowing what you're going to eat, and not wanting to wash dishes every night, meal prepping is for you. And there's just so many easy recipes out there that even me, like someone who did not cook, now I feel so much more comfortable, because after you make the same thing over and over again, then you feel confident in that, and then you could graduate to new things. So that was just like a happy accident from all of that. So I feel like that's kind of how we got diet under control in adulting, or how we're tackling it now. So meal prepping is big, and now we've like switched it up. We cannot eat beef and pasta anymore. It's probably still yummy, but I can't look at another beef and pasta yet. So we've switched it up a couple of times. We just got a slow cooker, so you already know there's an infinite meals to come now. So I'm really excited about that, and I feel that diet and food is not part of the adulting world that gives me anxiety anymore. Because I remember when I first moved out here and was like, okay, here you go, I was like, I have to do all of these things that I did not even realize, or underestimated how much brain power they take, and like how much energy it would take to do all of this. So I'd say that's one part of adulting. And then the second one that I think I also feel a little bit more confident on now is finances, which, I mean, I talked about all finances stuff in a previous episode, so feel free, what do I think I am? In a previous video. So feel free to check that out if you want. I'll link it. But yeah, I feel more confident on that, and I don't really want to repeat myself, but I think for that one, especially if you have like a full-time job, the most important thing is just like taking advantage of the 401k, because if you have a match, that's like free money. And then also, I think an emergency fund. Like, if I had to pick like the most important things that I've been doing in terms of like adulting, is having an emergency fund, because during college, like, I didn't have an emergency fund. Low-key, I would have never even thought to have an emergency fund, which is crazy. But now I'm actually working and stuff, I'm like, oh crap, what would I do if I lost my job, like literally? So yeah, so emergency fund and 401k. And then after that, I think everybody has to just figure out their spending habits and relationship to money, and then you can work on it from there. So kind of talked a little bit about that in another video, and if you guys want more content like that, I'm happy to keep talking about it. I love learning about it, and so I would love to share what I've learned about it too. So I'd say finances I feel pretty good about, and I think the biggest muscle to exercise there is saving in an emergency fund. So then the third thing for Adulting 101, I would say, is time management. So this was I think this is like this was the biggest one that kind of shocked me, because I feel that when I was in college and we would have alum on panels or people who have just recently graduated college, they would always say like, oh, I love full-time work because I never have homework, my weekends are completely for me, and I feel like I have so much more time. And so that's all I had been hearing about my junior and senior year of college, and I was so ready to get this bag and have all this free time. But I think because of the type of personality that I am, where I just have so many hobbies and so many things that I enjoy doing, I do feel that I have more free time, but I didn't at the beginning, because like I have mentioned, I felt like I was scrolling a lot and just wasting a lot of that free time on things that didn't actually bring me joy or weren't the things that I was looking forward to. So I think it was just like the mindset of realizing that I'm in charge of making my free time productive to me and enjoyable to me, and that's important to me, and now it's a priority of mine, and I'm very protective of my free time, and I have a shorter list of things that I would like to do and that I'm going to spend time on. So I do think that you get more free time, but I think it's very easy to maybe feel like you don't, and based off of the things that you might be doing. So I feel that for time management, the biggest hack that has helped me there is definitely getting rid of social media on my phone. Like, there's just no other answer. I have so much more time now because I can't resort to that. And then I think also like scheduling things. And it, like, for example, I have always played, or not have always, but I try to play pickleball on the weekends. And it used to be like Saturday mornings, but then Sunday mornings work better. But I know like that this is my time to play pickleball. And so I don't schedule things over that. So I think scheduling it in, even if it changes week to week, just knowing what your week looks like, and if you want to do a certain thing over the weekend, like write it down or schedule it in your Google Calendar just so you know, because it would be easy to make plans on top of it, and then you could feel like you didn't do the thing that you wanted to do. So I think just organizing your time and being mindful with it is really important for time management. And I guess some bonus things that I wasn't expecting, or that kind of caught me off guard after I graduated and moved away from home. One was moving away from home. Like, I don't know, just when I moved here, I was just kind of like, oh, no big deal. I'm like a million miles away from my family. And I think it was just like all very new, and it was really exciting, so it just kind of like didn't hit. But now I'm just like, dang, I'm so far from them. So, I mean, that's tough, and I'm sad, and I miss my family. But I know that my end goal is to move back there, and I'm doing this right now because I'm young, and there's a lot of things that I really like about California, and things that they're letting me explore and learn. So I've kind of shifted that mindset to like appreciating and being grateful for everything that I've been able to experience here, and that I'm going to continue to learn, but then also not forget about my family back home, and putting in the effort to keep up and check in and update each other. So if you're watching, love you, fam, miss you. And yeah, I just think that that's something that people tell you when you move away from home, but maybe I just needed to not hear it, otherwise I wouldn't have moved here. So yeah, that one's tough, and I feel that it obviously depends on how far you move away from home, or if you move away from home at all. But for all the long distance daughters and children, I feel you. So yeah, that's a little bonus one, but I don't want to end on a sad note, so let's pick another one. Okay, I guess fitness, since I'm in my gym clothes. This one has been a tough one, and I just feel like I'm getting in the groove, because, I mean, a fitness goal doesn't necessarily have to do with adulting, but when you're by yourself, it's really just like up to you to stick with your fitness goals. So when I was at school, maybe it was, well, I mean, you could always try to find a buddy, but maybe when you move for your full-time job, like, you might not know anyone at the beginning, so it's important to be able to keep yourself accountable. And I think the thing that kind of has, or the thing that I learned that I always keep in mind when when I don't have the motivation to work out is remind myself that it's not about motivation, it's about discipline. And I honestly wouldn't even have called myself a super disciplined person, at least in terms of fitness, because I think you can be things in one category and not in the other. So I wouldn't call myself that, but every time that I felt unmotivated, then I'll remind myself, like, even if I don't want to do it, I'm going to do it because I know the end result is good for me. So it's not about wanting to do it. It's about understanding that I need to do it for my health. And I mean, I don't even necessarily care about like looks wise, but I just want to be healthy, and I want to be healthy for a long time, and I want to be able to do all the sports and activities that I love for a long time. And so that includes being strong and being flexible and all the things that come along with taking care of your body. So I always found that one hard, just because it's really easy to find a bunch of other things and excuses to not work out. So for me, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, once I also got rid of social media, it kind of opened up time to go to the gym or not think about other things that I could be doing. And I also started off really slow and just like, let's just get there. And if all I'm doing is walking on the treadmill for an hour while I watch my show, that's an hour that otherwise I would have just been sitting down watching my show. So I think the goal is to just get movement, and then you're just gonna get more comfortable and you move on from there. And I think it's important to learn to be okay doing it alone. And if you need to start going with someone else, like, that's fine too. But at the end of the day, like, it's your life. And I think that I'm just telling you this because I feel like this is what I need to tell myself, is that it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or what anyone else tells you. You have to do things for you, and period. So yeah, I guess that was a little pep talk to myself. But yeah, so I guess maybe I can end on one last bonus, like, adulting thing. And maybe this one will be, oh my gosh, literally now I just thought of like a million of all the things that I don't like. So maybe comment for a part 2. But I guess I'll just end on like friends and making friends as an adult. Like, whoa, I always saw the videos of like, oh, how to make friends in your 20s, and I was like, what are you talking about? I'm gonna have to watch a video on how to make friends. Guys, it's kind of, I think it depends on like your job and your location. Like, I feel very fortunate to be in a rotational program where I feel that I have a good group of people that I vibe with, and I can always ask them if they want to play sports or hang out. So I think that's been really helpful. But just like being in a situation, I'm just like, what would I have done if I'm not in the rotational program? Because your team doesn't necessarily have to be like in your age group or anything like that. So I'm just like, whoa. So if you're in that situation, I feel for you, and the only thing I could say is just put yourself out there. And honestly, I don't even want to say more, because I guess I'm not in that position, and maybe I just more want to say that I'm really grateful that I feel that I have people here in California that I'm really enjoying getting to know and getting to have new experiences with. So I don't know. I just guess I want to end on a note of gratitude. Grateful that I have a healthy body, that I am able to buy food that I feel fills me with a bunch of nutrition, and I feel good after I eat it. And yeah, just I'm grateful for my apartment, my beautiful little apartment. She's kind of undecorated, which maybe I'll share the progress as we decorate her more. But yeah, I don't know. I feel so grateful for this little life, and I know I didn't feel this way immediately once I started being on my own. So maybe just to share that it gets better, and you just have to stick with it, hang in there. I feel like that's what everyone tells you, and when you're in the moment, you're like, I don't give a shit. Like, but I promise. I don't know. I feel like the more you hear it, maybe the more it'll help you believe it, because it's true. And I wish you the best and good luck with anything that you're struggling with. You got this.